Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 24 updates and spoilers. Hope you're all having a great Monday so far. Mine was hell because I was trying to catch up on the insanity of yesterday in the Big Brother house. Oh my goodness. So, we have a lot to talk about today. Our house guests of the day are Erica Burka and Brianna Souter. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. If you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And before we get started on all the craziness, I also want to thank our super chatters from the other day, because that's a fantastic way to support our channel. So Jefferson Tucker, Gio Epe, Jody Cortez, Dylan James, Mary Ellen Ludwig, Deb Wicks, William Dang, and Music Lover 21. Thank you all so much for your super chats. And I see we have a few today, so let's check those out before we dive in. Excuse me. Shane Wright, thank you so much. Shane says, I fall behind for 2 days and the entire house is up in flames. I know, right? Ooh, it was a crazy weekend. Very crazy. Exciting, but crazy, but also like very heavy. Jefferson Tucker, thank you for the super chat. Jefferson says, exciting things happen when you take a day off. We're live in 3, 2, 1. I know, right? Maybe I should take more days off and then things will really start popping off. It's hard to catch up on, though. Callie, thank you so much for the super chat. Callie says, Terrence frustrates me. He wants to show support for Kyle and keep him. I don't know, right? Kyle, who showed to be racist and evict Taylor. His hatred for her runs deep. Yeah. Terrence, there's something weird going on. Terrence is definitely not a fan of Taylor. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says, lol, yawn shots. Let's hope not. Okay, so thank you for your super chat. All right, so when we left off the other day, Turner, the HOH, nominated Brittany and Taylor. The leftovers are officially dead. I think it's safe to say that alliance is done. And Turner is clearly siding with the after party here. So we've got Turner, Terrence, Alyssa, and Kyle in the after party. Plus, they've pulled in Monty. He's not officially part of that alliance, but they are working with him for now. So Monty was told that Alyssa and Terrence know everything about the leftovers. It was all spilled to them when they were out at Dire Fest. And this group's plan this week was to backdoor Michael. Michael is no dummy. He realized that he's probably the backdoor target. Because, come on. Yeah. So he knows that this power veto competition is do or die for him. Gotta win this to keep himself safe. So they had the POV player picks. It was pretty late in the day, much later than usual. We found out that Terrence was hosting, and the players were Turner, Taylor, Brittany, and then 3 extras, Michael, Monty, and Alyssa. So Michael gets to play to try and protect himself here. Kyle's the only one not playing besides Terrence, who's hosting, and the after party is just hoping that anyone other than Michael wins the power veto, because if Michael doesn't win, they can go ahead with their plan to backdoor him. So Michael is pumping himself up in the Jetsons' bedroom. Like I said, he knows what the stakes are at this point for him. So he says, I'm going to win this veto, and I'm going to win HOH, and I'm putting up Turner and Kyle and evicting one of them. He says, I'm going to have my give me the key, bitch moment a la Janelle. Shout out to Janelle. He's a big Janelle fan. And he says, even though it's probably not smart, I will cheer. I will celebrate. I will make them regret the day they effed with me. He says, because you are not clever. You are not smart. You are not sneaky. Which just, it reminds me of that scene in The Help when she's all like, you was smart, you was kind, you was important. But like, definitely different sentiments here. So, yeah, Michael says, I see through what you're trying to do this week, Kyle and Turner. I know. And he says, Kyle won't even look at me at this point. He leaves the room when I come in. So he says, they've got to go. Be careful who you piss off. And he says, I have a lot of dirt on you, Kyle. And if I'm going down, you're coming down with me. So he says, pick your battles carefully, bud. if I can't win this game, I'll make sure you don't either. Well, he definitely made sure of that. So Michael says, I have to win this veto and then go on a tear through this house. So later he was on his own again, a little more pumping himself up, monologuing, and Kyle says, or not Kyle, Michael says, I'm fired up. I have a reason to win this. I want to win HOH and send Kyle home so bad. And he asks, where's your all-white alliance to save you now, Kyle? Oh, damn! Okay, so, like, he went there, and he says Kyle's got to go. Michael is not playing around anymore. Oh, my God. Okay, meanwhile, Kyle and Alyssa are chatting in the have-not room on the butterfly floaty. No! How have they not removed that thing from the house yet? So Kyle's asking Alyssa, what do we do this week? How do we set ourselves up so that we're going to be good with whoever stays out of Michael, Brittany, and Taylor, right? Because only one of them will be leaving from that group this week. So they talk through some different scenarios, and Alyssa's like, all right, well, say like Michael wins the veto and he pulls Brittany down, and we've got Monty and Taylor up on the block. Do you think like we should vote out Taylor and keep Monty? And Kyle says, not necessarily. He's open to whatever, you know, we can talk through it. And Alyssa says, I just have this gut feeling that, oh my God, Laura Greer, thank you so much. Oh my God, I cannot believe the generosity. Thank you so much. You're amazing. More on that later. But Alyssa says she has a gut feeling that Monty would target them. And Kyle agrees. He says, we got to see what happens with this power of veto, and then we can go from there. So Kyle is going over his ideal boot list. Obviously, he wants Michael out this week. And then after that, he's not really sure if it should be Taylor or Monty leaving next. He's kind of going back and forth on that. But Alyssa's thinking they should keep Taylor around for now because she would be easier for them to persuade. And she's thinking maybe we could convince Taylor not to put both of us up on the block together if she wins the HOH. So Kyle's like, you know what? Honestly, at this point, I trust Taylor more than I trust Michael and Brittany. So, I mean, he doesn't trust Michael and Brittany at all at this point. So it's not saying that much. But anyway, Kyle then starts talking about Monty. And this was like really weird. Kyle was saying Monty has been perceived as the villain this season, and he decided to accept it. He says that Monty is playing the villain card. What does that even mean? I don't see how Monty is the villain this season at all. But he says Monty wasn't like Joseph. He wasn't forcing narratives. He wasn't bullying. Joseph bullying? What? He says, I see the side of Monty that's not that villain perception. Okay, so Kyle is a little bit worried that Monty could potentially go back to the Brochella Houseguest and spill all of the info that he got from the after party, from Dyer Fest, you know, about how Terrence and Alyssa know about the leftovers and all that good stuff. And if that were the case, Brittany would find out that Alyssa already knew about the leftovers, even though she told Brittany that Brittany was the first person to share that with her. Yikes. So Kyle says, Monty, it wouldn't make sense for him to go back to Brochella because he has to know that he would be at the bottom with Michael, Brittany, and Taylor. He would be number 4 in that group. So Kyle says he's still trying to get to the bottom of who really wanted Alyssa out during Taylor's HOH week. Was it Michael and Brittany? Because both Monty and Joseph told him that Michael and Brittany were pushing for Alyssa to go that week. Because they were. They were really wishy-washy about it. But Kyle says Joseph and Monty could have just been trying to pin it on Michael and Brittany, you know, just to hide that they were the ones that actually wanted that. Kyle says that Joseph was a scumbag. He says, I can't stand him. He's scum. Wow, a scumbag? Scum? And he says, I hope they show Joseph's true character on the show. He says, in his heart, I think that he is a good guy, but he lied and manipulated so much. So, does Kyle also consider himself a scumbag? Because if you want to talk about lying and manipulating, woof, buddy, come on now. So, Kyle is then telling Alyssa, if it's the type of competition where you can, like, sabotage someone, why don't you try to sabotage Michael in the POV? Make sure that he doesn't win. So Kyle's also just saying he's getting paranoid that it's going to come out that he was the one that spilled about the leftovers first over at Dire Fest. Oh, it's going to come out. Okay, so anyway, they had the Power Veto competition, and again, it was a much later start than usual. I think they waited because they didn't want people to die during it because it was slip and slide. Woo! So this is traditionally an HOH competition. They have done it as a POV before, definitely on Canada. I don't remember if they've done it as a POV on the US before. But this is a classic. A lot of fun to watch. Not as much fun to do, I feel like. But if you're not familiar with it, you have to go back and forth on your Crisco covered sloped lane, and you have to fill up your container one trip at a time with like a small scoop. So guess what? Guess who won the Power Veto? Why, it was Veto King Comp Beast Michael. Woo! He came through with another win. So I believe he is now tied for most, at least POV wins with Janelle. I don't know where he stands on like overall wins. I think Casey is also tied for that as well. But wow. Go Michael. So Michael, in addition to winning the veto, also gets to pick 3 house guests to join him for a movie screening. And I believe the movie that they went to see, or they got to see, is Bros. Woo! Really looking forward to seeing that. I love Billy Eichner. So happy for how Billy's career is going now. But anyway, Michael and Brittany chat in the bathroom. And Brittany is telling Michael, like, look, you do not have to pick me for this movie screening. I want you to use this to your advantage. Pick people that you need to, like, game with, or people that you don't want talking down here. Like, whatever you need to do it. Don't worry about me. So Brittany is super pumped that Michael won this veto. She says this is precisely why this move did not make sense for Turner, like him nominating Brittany and Taylor. Because she's asking Michael, you're going to use the POV on me, right? Excuse me. Michael confirms, yes, he will. I mean, we saw that coming. So he says we need to talk to Monty and Taylor, though, because he really wants to push for Kyle to go up as the replacement nominee. So Brittany says, Turner's against us anyway, so we may as well go for it at this point. Like, what do we have to lose? So they pick up their conversation a few minutes later in the Jetsons' bedroom. And again, Michael is saying we should have a conversation with Monty and Taylor first. So just a little bit of context here. Michael and Brittany are planning on telling Monty and Taylor about Kyle's Cookout 2.0 theory and how he wanted to create an all-white alliance, essentially, to target all of the people of color. So Michael says he doesn't want to spread this information around the house unless Monty and Taylor are comfortable with it. He wants to make sure that they have their permission. They don't want to put them in an uncomfortable position here. So, of course, when they start talking about this, Big Brother cuts away for a little bit. So then when they come back to this convo, Michael is trying to decide who is going to join him for the movie screening, yada, 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 whatever. Back to the important conversation here. Brittany says, we just need to be really transparent and share, like, about the Cookout 2.0 stuff. They're also going to be spilling lots of information to Alyssa about Kyle and things that he's said about their showmance. So Brittany says, I don't think that Alyssa wants her game to be defined by her showmance. I think she's getting ready to jump ship, get away from Kyle. Girl, come on now. Have you seen these two? Anyway, Brittany jokes that this is turning into Michael's HOH week. I mean, kind of. And Michael says, if we can convince Turner to put up Kyle, it's going to be huge. It really would be. So Brittany is nervous that Monty and Taylor might be kind of upset that they didn't tell them about this Kyle stuff last week. or even like a week before that, they would have had the chance. But last week, especially, they had all week to talk. It was all sewn up that Jasmine was going. They were all just hanging out, hanging around. They had plenty of opportunities to have this conversation, and they didn't do it. So Brittany says, though, at this point, this transcends a line beyond game. So it's an important conversation to have. All right. Later, Michael chats with Turner in the HOH room. And Michael says he will be picking Turner to join him for the movie screening. So Turner says he super appreciates that. He's excited to see the movie. And then they get down to business. They talk about the power veto. And Turner says, I just want to let you know, when I talked to Taylor, she was asking me if I have a bigger target this week, like a backdoor target other than Brittany or Taylor. And Turner says, yeah, I told her yes, but there's not. Sir, we all know that there was a backdoor target and he won the power of veto. So, yeah. But anyway, Turner says Taylor is the only person in the house that he feels genuinely betrayed by. He says, I felt excluded from the final three that Taylor was making. Remember, he said in his speech that Taylor was making a final three with herself, Joseph, and Brittany. She wasn't really. But anyway, Turner says Taylor leaving is my personal goal for this week. But, I would love to collaborate on this with you. I want to get your input. And he's saying, I assumed you would either leave nominations the same or take Brittany down. Like, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Michael confirms, yes, he does plan on using the veto on Brittany, of course. And Turner says he's fine with that. He says he really likes Brittany. So Michael's like, cool. Who are you thinking for the replacement? Like, who's it going to be? And Turner says it's probably going to be either Terrence or Alyssa. Unless you would rather see someone else go up. Well, Michael would definitely rather see somebody else go up, but he's not having that conversation yet. Remember, he wants to talk to Monty and Taylor about it first. So Turner asks Michael, are you cool with Taylor going this week? And Michael's like playing it cool for now. He says, I really like Taylor, but I'm okay with it if that's what you want. So Turner is then asking, like, am I going to be in trouble next week if you or one of your homies win HOH? Like, I know I put your friends up on the block this week. Michael says, no, like, it's fine. You're all good. That's a lie. But Turner says he would love to chat with Michael and Brittany about moving forward together. Okay, so later, Alyssa chats with Turner in the HOH room. She's telling Turner all about this little tiff that she's having with Kyle. At one point, Alyssa and Kyle were hanging out in the bathroom, and Kyle was all tired. Alyssa was all energetic, and she's like, why are you so tired? Like, you didn't even play in the competition. She's trying to be playful with him and, like, hitting him with this hanger. And he told her, like, stop. Take it down a notch. And she was not happy about that. She felt kind of like rejected or whatever. She wanted some space. And then he said that he was going to wait for her in the tiki room so that they could chat after her shower. But after her shower, she got sidetracked talking to Michael and Brittany. And Kyle was pissed because Alyssa kept him waiting for so long. So then he wanted space. Good, you can get evicted and you'll have plenty of space. But anyway, the feeds cut away from them for a few minutes. And then when they come back, thank God we've moved on from this conversation. Alyssa is telling Turner she does not want to go up as a pawn this week because she is worried that Monty will not have her back. She says, Monty could flip on me and vote me out with Michael and Brittany, and you only need 3 votes to evict this week. So Turner's like, Alyssa, you are stressing way too much. The way that we did things with the leftovers, like, it's all good. We're going to bring that same vibe to this after party alliance with Monty. Like, the after party and Monty are all going to meet up together. We're going to talk about who feels comfortable being a pawn. It's going to be all good. Good luck with that. Like, who's comfortable with being a pawn this late in the game? What? So Turner's asking Alyssa, what else is on your mind? Because you just seem like really upset. So Alyssa says, well, Michael and Brittany told me they want to have a chat with me. I'm assuming they're going to tell me about the leftovers again. And she just feels like she's going to be hearing about this alliance from like everybody one at a time. She's going to have to hear about it over and over again. And every time it's just like, because she's hearing all this shit that Kyle said. So she says, Taylor's probably going to tell me about this too. And Turner says, you just have to act like you haven't already heard it. You know, just hang in there. So Turner says, we all have your back. We wouldn't put you in harm's way. You and Kyle are going to be fine. He's just upset the power veto didn't go the way that he wanted. So Turner tells Alyssa, when it comes to Taylor, like, it doesn't matter what Taylor says. She's going home this week. Just tell her to F off. Really? Okay. Weird energy coming off of Turner. But anyway, Alyssa starts crying about Kyle. It's not just the little tiff that they were having earlier. Alyssa's upset that Kyle has been lying to her for like this entire game. Yeah. it's grating at her. And she's also upset because Brittany said that Kyle was trying to distance himself from Alyssa at one point to prepare himself to vote her out. And Alyssa's like, I do remember Kyle distancing himself from me. I did experience that. So, like, was he preparing to vote me out? Yeah. So Turner says, well, we were hearing that you were doing the same thing. Like, when Kyle and Daniel were up on the block, we heard that you were going to vote him out. People were just trying to drive a wedge between you and Kyle. But you have to know that Kyle and I were never going to vote you out. Over. So anyway, later that night, Turner is talking to the cameras, and Turner says, you know what? That POV comp did not go exactly how I would have liked, because, again, he was planning on backdooring Michael this week. But he says Taylor is honestly worse for my own personal game than Michael is. Michael just happens to be better at the game than Taylor. But Turner says, I have no problem taking out Taylor this week, especially since she was saying that Turner and Kyle should be the first ones from the leftovers to go. And Taylor has admitted that she has said this. So Turner says, I don't want Taylor here anymore. I saved her game week 3, and then she's going against the family? He says, you don't go against the family. Does the pound not count? Like, you've had an alliance within the leftovers since the leftovers were created. So it's just wild that these pound guys are getting so upset that anyone else is trying to create something within the leftovers. Like, what? Anyway, so that was all Saturday night / Sunday morning. But like regular Sunday morning, like daylight Sunday morning, Brittany and Michael are chatting in the storage room. And they're trying to figure out the order in which they're going to talk to everyone, because it's going down today. They are spilling info. They've got a lot of information to unload on Alyssa. But again, they want to talk to Monty and Taylor first about Kyle's Cookout 2.0 theory. So Brittany says, as we're doing this, she really wants to make sure it's not coming off like they're using this situation for gain. She says she doesn't want it to be construed as like a white savior situation either. Okay. So, like, I feel like they are using this for game, like very clearly using this for game. They've had this information for weeks. They've just been sitting on it. If you remember when Kyle was first bringing this up, it seemed like they were going along with it. And it seemed like they didn't really change their minds on it until Big Brother kind of like clued them in and got them to look, step back and look at this and see what it looked like. I will say after that, they were telling Kyle, like, I don't think we should be doing this. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with the optics of it. It's not right. But again, they were sitting on this information for a really long time. All that being said, I do think it's better late than never. I'm glad they are finally bringing this up. But, like, let's be real. They are using this for game reasons. They want Kyle to go. So, anyway, the feed's cut away from them because Big Brother doesn't want us hearing all that. But anyway, yeah, it is the game. So, he did say all these things that they're going to be talking about. All right. So, Michael and Brittany pull Monty and Taylor up to the Have Not room to chat. And they actually had to wake Monty up. It's not like it was like super early. It was like 9:30. But it's funny because later on, Monty was like, oh, they woke me up like at the ass crack of dawn. It was 9:30. But anyway, They all go up to the Have Not room to chat, presumably about Kyle and his Cookout 2.0 theory. Most of the other house guests were still sleeping at the time. Terrence was on the exercise bike, so he saw them going upstairs. But yeah, this whole hour-plus long conversation with Michael, Brittany, Monty, and Taylor was not shown on the feeds. Instead, we got to watch Turner sleeping in the HOH room. What the actual F? Why are they protecting Kyle like this? It's just inexcusable. But anyway, moving on. While that conversation was still happening, Kyle and Terrence have a quick chat in the car bedroom. And Terrence lets Kyle know, hey, Michael, Brittany, Monty, and Taylor, they're all upstairs talking right now. They've been up there for a while. They think at the time that they were talking to Turner because they don't realize that Turner was still asleep. But anyway, Terrence and Kyle, this knowledge that these people are all talking is making them very nervous. They agree that Monty should be the one going up as the replacement nominee next to Taylor this week. Kyle says, I trust Monty-ish, but I trust you, Terrence, and Alyssa way more. Kyle says if Alyssa goes up next to Taylor, Monty's going to send Alyssa home. And if you go up next to Taylor, Monty's going to send you home. I love how Kyle doesn't even mention the possibility of him going up. But Terrence is like, no, I'm on the same page. Like, let's get Monty up on the block. So then Kyle chats with Alyssa in the Jetsons' bedroom. And Kyle apologizes for the drama the night before. It was like a really quick 10-second apology. 10 seconds. Because he wants to talk game. Because he immediately launched into game after that. He says, Michael, Brittany, Monty, and Taylor are all talking to Turner in the HOH room right now. Again, they don't realize that Turner is still asleep. They're not talking to him. But Kyle is saying how they have to make sure that Monty goes up on the block next to Taylor. So Kyle pulls in Terrence to chat with them. And he's saying, like, we have to talk to Turner before Monty can get to him. And Terrence is saying, well, we should suggest that Monty goes up as a replacement so we can disguise that we're all working with him. And we'll tell Monty, look, if you want to prove that you trust us, you'll go up on that block and you'll like it. So they all agree they should not have to risk losing one of their after party numbers while Turner is the HOH. Okay, so after Alyssa goes up to the HOH room and discovers that Turner is still sleeping. They are not having this big conversation with Turner. So then she reports back to Terrence and Kyle is worried. What if Monty is spilling all of our info from Direfest to Michael, Brittany, and Taylor right now? And he says, if Monty tells them everything, we're voting his ass out this week. It's as simple as that. Is it? Sorry, I'm parched right now. This is a lot of talking. I just need a quick little water break, and then we'll continue. Okay, so the Have Not room conversation with Michael, Brittany, Taylor, and Monty finally breaks up a few minutes later, like after they realize that Turner is not talking to them. We missed the beginning of this conversation between Kyle and Monty in the kitchen after, but it was awkward. I mean, Monty just found out, we think, like all this information about Kyle and how Kyle thought that all of the house guests of color are working together. And he was trying to basically rally up all of the white house guests to target them. So I gotta give Monty so much props for even talking to Kyle at this point, so soon after hearing this information. And I have to say too, Taylor was talking to him not long after that as well. She didn't let on that she knew anything like that. But anyway, it seems like Kyle's asking Monty, what was that conversation all about? What was going on in the Have Not room? And Monty says, they pulled me up there. They were trying to figure something out, I guess. It wasn't anything concrete. So he's being, very vague here. And Kyle asks, what are they even trying to do? Is this something to try and save Taylor? And Monty says, I have no idea. But I didn't tell them anything about us, meaning the Pound. So They talk about the replacement nominee for the week, and Monty is saying, seems like Terrence is probably the easiest option for Turner because Terrence put Turner up on the block last week. So Kyle's like, well, Terrence is not going to be okay with that. And Monty says, I don't think anybody wants to go up on the block at this point. Right? Okay. So a little later, Michael and Brittany continue their conversations. They pull Alyssa up to the have-not room to chat. And they are telling Alyssa all about the leftovers, the formation of it, the breakdown of all their moves from week to week. We're not going to go through all that again right now because it's tedious. We've already heard it a bunch of times. We've lived it. So then I will mention at one point, Alyssa starts crying when they talk about Monty's HOH week because they let Alyssa know. Kyle told us that he pitched to Daniel that he and Daniel should leave the nominations the same when you and Indy were up on the block. Blech. So that means Alyssa would have stayed up on the block and they would have voted her out and Kyle would have gone along with it. So Alyssa says, that really hurts. Daniel told me about that before he left. We had a really long conversation. She didn't want to hear it then. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they talk about Taylor's HOH week, of course. That's always a big topic of conversation. So Michael and Brittany let Alyssa know Taylor did want Terrence out at the beginning of the week. She did not want a woman to leave during her HOH, but the rest of the alliance convinced her to target Indy instead. And then after the Power Veto competition, Joseph was gassing Taylor up, getting her all riled up about targeting Alyssa because you did take the trip from her. You made it seem like you were so comfortable and you weren't worried that you could potentially go up. I like how they conveniently left out their role in what went down that week. Michael and Brittany were definitely also getting Taylor hyped up about potentially taking out Alyssa. But anyway, during this conversation, Brittany at one point asks Alyssa, so Kyle and Turner have not told you any of this information? And Alyssa says, no. Come on. At some point, you're going to have to admit it. But anyway, Brittany shares that Kyle was the one that told them about the old school alliance. And that was information that came from Alyssa because Alyssa was all like, oh, yeah, I think I heard that Amira told Joseph about it. And then Joseph told everybody else. And Brittany says, no, that was not a thing. Like the info went from you to Kyle to all of us. So Brittany says, in defense of Kyle, I don't think he was ever doing anything like malicious to try and play you. But he did say a lot how nervous he was that America was gonna like think he was a jerk or something because of the disconnect between Kyle having a showmance with Alyssa and the way that Kyle was playing the game. So Alyssa is asking, was there ever a time that Kyle wanted me out or did he have my back? And Michael says he has had your back, and sometimes he has stuck out his neck for you. I mean, look how he left the nominations the same the other week so that you would not be going up. But Michael says there have also been times when Kyle would talk about how much easier it would be for him if you were not here. So that couldn't have felt good. But Brittany says, yeah, Kyle was really wishy-washy. He would say one week that he was fine with you leaving, and then it would change the next week. So he was back and forth about it. Michael also brings up how Kyle said that he regretted not using the power veto a few weeks ago. But he also says that could have just been damage control with Taylor and Joseph since they were upset about Kyle not using the veto. Yikes. Okay, eventually they move on from that topic and they get to the Cookout 2.0 stuff. So Michael is explaining how Kyle kept pushing that Joseph, Monty, and Taylor were all super tight within the leftovers. And Kyle was saying they have similar reasons for being here. And Michael kept asking him, like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't seem like they're actually that close. Like, what are you seeing that I'm not? And, like, obviously, Joseph and Monty were close. But, like, he wasn't seeing the connection there between, like, Taylor and Monty. This was before the fomance between Joseph and Taylor. So Michael says Kyle did not have concrete reasons to link those three together. And then Kyle started bringing up the Cookout Alliance from last season, how they all had a unifying goal. And Kyle was saying that all the people of color basically were going to work together to take out the white people. And Michael says, without saying that the 5 white people need to stick together, he was saying that the 5 of us needed to stick together. So it was very clear, the insinuation. Oh my God, it's coming out. Okay, thank you, production, for actually like letting us see this conversation. So Brittany says, again, I don't think that Kyle is malicious, but I don't think he's aware of the way that things he's saying are coming off, how it's looking. So Brittany says, we don't want this to be construed as something that we're using as game. She says it transcends the game. It brings in reality. And I agree. It does transcend the game. It brings in reality. But also, like, again, they're using it as game. It's both. So Brittany also mentions this was not just one conversation. This is another reason why we didn't want to bring this up right away, because we wanted to confirm that this is like actually what Kyle was saying. And she says there was one point where she talked to Kyle one-on-one and she told him, we can't just assume that there is another Cookout Alliance forming because of what happened last year. And she told Kyle, step back and look at those 2 groups that you are proposing. And she thought his response would be something along the lines of, oh shit, I didn't see that. Thank you for pointing that out to me. But instead, he doubled down on the Cookout stuff. Yep, he continued to bring that up after that. So Alyssa's like, wow, this is very heavy and delicate all at the same time. She says, I never saw that. I didn't think that Monty, Joseph, and Taylor were like super tight together. I never thought that was a thing. I didn't know that Kyle was saying these things. She says that's not something that I would want to be a part of at all, that alliance that Kyle was proposing. So Alyssa's asking, like, are you guys going to talk to Kyle about this? And Michael says, I'm going to be straight up with you. I would like to see Kyle go this week. He says, I'm going to talk to Turner about all of this. This has all been weighing very heavily on us. I'm not comfortable being a part of it. And Michael wants to be clear. He would never make up something like this for the game. I mean, that'd be pretty effed up, right? That would be like an absolute disaster. It'd be messed up. But Kyle did say all those things. So Alyssa says, no, I believe you. Like, there's been no doubt throughout this whole thing that Michael and Brittany were making this up. Because, like, who would lie about something like that on this show? So Alyssa's like, no, I believe you. I just don't want any of Kyle's conversations to be, like, blown back on me. I don't want to be tied to that. She doesn't want to be grouped in with that. So they're like, no, we totally get it. Like, you're good. Alyssa thanks them for telling her. And then, like, after that, I think Kyle went and tried to talk to her, and she was like, I need alone time. And she was kind of just playing it off like they were telling her about the leftovers, but she didn't let him know about this new information yet. So a little later, it was time for Michael to drop this information on Turner. And he lets Turner know this is going to be uncomfy. He also asks to lock the door because he doesn't want this conversation to be interrupted. So Michael says, I don't know if you're aware of this, but your name has been brought into it, so I did want to let you know. Kyle essentially pitched to me an all-white alliance. And Turner says, whoa, that is very uncomfortable. Racism does tend to be uncomfortable, I will say. So Michael is walking through all of Kyle's Cookout 2.0 stuff. It's, all the stuff that we were just hearing in the conversation with Alyssa. And Michael was also talking about how when Taylor was HOH, she was saying that she didn't want to put up Jasmine because she was not going to put up another Black woman on her HOH. And Kyle's response to that, Kyle was saying that makes him uncomfortable as a straight white man, and basically saying if the decisions were going to be made based on race, he felt like he was at the bottom of the alliance. So Michael says, yes, I did hold on to this information. He explains, I thought maybe Kyle would go last week and it wouldn't come up. I I do remember Michael and Brittany talking last week and debating whether or not they should tell Taylor and Monty what was going on with Kyle, but they were nervous that Kyle was going to come back and maybe win HOH, and then if Monty and Taylor spilled that to Kyle, they would be in a lot of trouble. So anyway, Michael again is telling Turner, I wanted you to know because you were a part of that alliance that Kyle was proposing, that alliance of 5. So then Brittany comes in, and again, she's talking about how this goes beyond game, and she says we would have regretted it if we didn't bring this info up and do something about it. So Turner says it's messy, it's uncomfy, and it's not okay. So Brittany is saying we just wanted to present this information to you. You do with it what you will. So Turner says, I really appreciate you telling me. I need time to process this. And then he wants to pivot the conversation a little bit, talk about the POV and what's going to happen with that. So Turner says he is cool with Michael using the POV on Brittany. He loves Brittany, wants her to stay. But Turner says, I also have some uncomfy news to share. He says it's a lot less uncomfortable than what you just brought to me, but uncomfy nonetheless. So Turner says, I had a one-on-one with Taylor, and she did admit to me that she wanted me and Kyle out first from the leftovers. But she also said that it was not just supposed to be like a final 3 with her, Brittany, and Joseph. She said that, Michael, you were also included in that. And I mean, that's what Joseph had told them when they were out at Dyer Fest in the hot tub when he started throwing everybody under the bus. So anyway, yeah, he's like, Michael, you were named in that as well. So Turner says, I was hurt by that information. And Michael says, I was cool with Kyle going first because of, everything that we've been talking about. But I was not saying that I wanted you to be one of the first ones out. And Brittany agrees. He was definitely saying that, like, Turner should go. So, okay. So Michael and Brittany are trying to cover this up, whatever. They're working through it. And then Turner is still talking about wanting to target Taylor this week. Oh, okay. So he's asking them, like, how would you feel about Taylor going? Because she's saying that she wants me out of here. Like, she's admitting it to my face. And Michael says, honestly, for me, it's hard to feel happy about anything other than seeing Kyle leave this week. But he says, like, I can see where Taylor is a threat to your game. I get that if that's what you want to do. But, he's making it known. He wants Kyle out this week. So it seems like at this point, Turner is still, like, really wanting Taylor to go, even hearing all this information. But this is all a lot. So let's talk about a little comic relief here. While Michael and Brittany were talking to Turner, Monty was filling in Terrence on the Kyle information. And Terrence misunderstood what Monty was saying, and he thought Monty said that Michael and Brittany were trying to start an all-white alliance. So then Monty leaves the room, Kyle comes in, and Terrence shares this with Kyle, and he says, yeah, I heard that Michael and Brittany are trying to start an all-white alliance, and Kyle's like, what the F, bro? What? Like, right now? What, is Kyle going to try and join it? But, yeah, Kyle says, I haven't heard anything about that. Oh, my God. I don't think Kyle was putting the pieces together at that point. But after Kyle left, Monty came back in, and him and Terrence were talking about it again. And Terrence was like, oh, my God, I can't believe, like, Michael and Brittany would do that. And Monty was like, wait, what? I said Kyle, not Monty and Brittany. Monty and Brittany were the ones telling me about it. So Terrence is like, oh, Kyle? Oh, my God. So during this conversation, Terrence also spills to Monty that Kyle was the one that told him about the leftovers last week, not Joseph. Kyle was the first one to spill. Oop. Okay, so a little later, Kyle's talking to Alyssa in the Jetsons' bedroom. And ever since her conversation with Michael and Brittany, Alyssa has been keeping her distance from Kyle. She is not happy with him. It is clear that she's just like, So Kyle is like, Alyssa, can I talk to you? He says, I feel so alone right now. I don't know what's going on. And he's asking, like, are Michael and Brittany talking to Turner right now? And Alyssa's like, yeah, I think so. And Kyle's asking, like, what do you think they're saying to Turner? She knows exactly what they're saying to Turner, but Alyssa's like, I have no idea. So then Kyle starts asking, what did Michael and Brittany talk about with you? And there's like a really long silence from Alyssa. And Kyle's like, please just tell me. Like, was there anything new? What did they say? And again, really long silence. And then Alyssa's like, I don't know if it's my place to say that. And Kyle's like, what? So Alyssa says, well, they pretty much made it seem like you were working against other people. You were not giving Monty, Joseph, and Taylor a fair shot of working with them because they could have possibly formed a cookout thing. Oh, snap. So Kyle's like, so a race thing? That's what they're pitching that I was saying? And Alyssa confirms, yes, that is what they were talking about. So Kyle says, well, this is more than game. That's going to ruin my life if this is what they're pitching right now. You said all the stuff that they're saying. They're not just like making this up. So Kyle says, if that's what they're pitching, I will leave the game. And he's asking Alyssa, do you believe them? At what point have I ever made this a race thing? Dude, come on. You've brought it up multiple times, even after Brittany and Michael have told you, like, look at what you're saying. Look at what you're talking about. That's not cool. But he would still continue to talk about it. So Kyle is saying this is life-changing if that's their pitch. All I said were that Monty, Joseph, and Taylor's reasons for being here were strong. Like, Joseph wants to win and help his mom. Taylor wants to, help strong women. That's not what you were saying. Come on. So Kyle says they're painting me as a racist. I'm going to leave this game. Alyssa's telling him not to freak out. Too late for that. So then Kyle keeps saying he's going to leave. He goes to try and get in the diary room. They're telling him no. He's like begging to get in there. After a few tries upstairs and downstairs, they finally take him downstairs. And of course, after he walks into the diary room, who comes out of the storage room with a bag of Lay's? Taylor. Classic BB moment. But Kyle was in the diary room for a long time, and I'm assuming production was probably like trying to talk him out of quitting. He was in there for a long time. But we'll come back to that. Meanwhile, Turner is talking to the cameras in the HOH room, and Turner says, my head is spinning. I have no idea what to think at this point. I didn't think that anyone would be able to convince me that Kyle is not good for my game. I mean, let's not forget, Turner has a final 2 deal with Kyle. But Turner says that is exactly what Michael did. He is really good at that sort of thing. And he says, I feel like Kyle might end up on the block this week now. But he does say that Taylor is still his target. So Turner says, I want no part of what Kyle was pitching, that all white alliance, But he's saying Taylor is still worse for my game than Kyle is. I still want her to go. But I could put Kyle up on the block in order to be good with like Michael, Brittany, Monty, everybody. Oh my God. But he's like still saying he wants Taylor to go instead of Kyle. Yikes. Okay. So then a little later, Monty is chatting with Turner in the HOH room, and they're talking about the Kyle situation, of course. And they both believe that Michael and Brittany have to be telling the truth because it would be too messed up to lie about something like that, for sure. So Turner says, I want to make sure that you know I was not a part of Kyle's plan. I was not involved with that at all. And Monty's like, I know. You don't have to worry about that. And Monty is talking about how messed up it was that Kyle spilled about the leftovers last week, and then he just came back in and acted like everything was fine. So then, Monty didn't know that information was out there, so he was still like lying to Terrence when Terrence would ask him questions, and that kind of messed up his game. So Turner was talking about what it was like out at Dyer Fest, and he was saying he didn't even know that Kyle had spilled the beans for a while. Kyle spilled, then Joseph, because it was already out there, and then Turner was in a similar situation where he didn't know that people were sharing this information, so he just looked like an idiot because he was still lying about it. So anyway, Turner says that Monty is the only person that he feels safe with right now. They agree they are disgusted with Kyle, not happy with him. And Turner says, I don't know what to do anymore. You know, Kyle wants me to put you up on the block. And Turner says, there's no way he's doing that. And Monty says, of course Kyle wants me up there because that will ensure that a black person will be going home. Right? So Monty says that Kyle should be the one going up on the block this week. But Turner is still not really sure who the target should be. It seems like he is saying, yes, he is definitely putting Kyle up on the block, but he doesn't know who the target should be. Because he's thinking, well, Kyle is pretty much the house target at this point. So, like, I can just take out Taylor, who said that she's coming after me, and then leave Kyle for somebody else to take out next week. I mean, I see what he's saying, but also, like, after hearing what Kyle has said, you know. Anyway, yeah, so Turner is not really sure who he should be targeting, and the feed's cut as he was discussing this, so we didn't get to hear any, like, final conclusions in that conversation. But I would imagine that Monty is probably pushing that Kyle should be the one to go this week. So anyway, later the feeds went down for a while, and there was a lot of uncertainty in the moment. Like, is Kyle leaving? Is this Michael's reward for the POV comp? It ended up being Michael's movie screening. Again, they got to see Bros, and he was joined by Turner, Alyssa, and Taylor. And we find out Kyle did not self-evict. He was out of the diary room, back under his blanket. I feel like he's been wearing that mustard-colored blanket for a while now. But anyway, there were lots of long feed outages last night. Wait, yeah, that was last night. I don't even remember what day it is anymore. And it would appear that there was some sort of a house meeting last night that we did not get to see. That's really unfortunate because it sounds like a real banger. But things calmed down after that house meeting. Kyle was spending all of his time alone. Not even Alyssa was hanging out with him last night. Damn. And yeah, we did get some information about the house meeting from some conversations that we heard this morning. Sounds like Terrence came out swinging in the house meeting. Brittany and Michael were saying that Terrence lumped them in with what Kyle did. Yikes. Even Terrence was apologizing to Turner, like, I'm sorry, I really went for it last night. Sounds like Kyle spilled a lot of information, including his final two with Turner, which Turner was not happy about because apparently it wasn't even necessary for that to come out. And he was just like, what the F, bro? Like, why would you do that? It sounds like the after party was exposed. And it also sounds like Kyle admitted that his thoughts were rooted in race. Well, damn. What a house meeting. So hopefully we'll get to see some of that on the episode. I don't know. But they had the power veto ceremony today. Michael used the POV on Brittany, and Turner put up Kyle in her place, which means it's Kyle versus Taylor up on the block. As of now, I'm not sure who Turner is targeting, but I mean, at this point, it's out of his hands anyway, right? You only need 3 votes to evict. It looks like at this point, Kyle will be leaving. We've got 3 days left until the eviction. We'll see what happens. I feel like I can't imagine Kyle staying after that. That would just be absolutely insane. But crazier things have happened, right? So we'll see. Come on in.
Hi.
Hello.
My computer tapped out.
Oh no.
Because you talk too long.
It was a lot of talking. Thank you all so much for staying and sticking around for the show. It's all right. All right. Let me just get a drink real quick.
Drink it.
Bowie! I'm drinking a beautiful bowl and basket seltzer, cherry vanilla.
Oh.
Yes, ShopRite.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay. So, I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are amazing. Shane Wright, thank you so much. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Callie, thank you so much. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Janine Honberger, thank you so much. And Janine says, oh, hi. I'm glad to catch the live. Thanks for all you do. I truly appreciate your updates. Well, I truly appreciate your support and you guys watching day after day. It really means a lot to us. Thank you again to Janine. Sarah Nichols, thank you so much. And Sarah says, seems like all the drama goes down on Sunday. I know. I mean, a lot of that has to do with, they want to figure out what's going to happen with the veto. But I do remember previous seasons where Sundays would be like the most boring day ever, because a lot of times that's like the first day they get the backyard too after like a while. So they just want to like sunbathe and all that. And I'm so sorry, but like I cannot give up my Sundays. I can't. I need that mentally and also to take care of my grandma. So it's just a no-go for me. But at least we have crazy Mondays, right? To catch up on everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Laura Greer. Oh my goodness. You are incredible. Laura says, finally caught alive. Thank you for all your amazing updates. Laura, you are a Madrosed angel.
She's a legend, dude.
You are a legend. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
Bowie says, legend.
Legend! William Dang.
You're going to have to leave.
Bowie.
Come on.
William Dang. Thank you so much.
Out.
Let me wait until, as Turner would say, like until the plane goes by so we can have better audio.
You're welcome.
For TV. Bowie. William says, it's always entertaining to see your funny reactions. I'm glad you enjoy them. At least we know that Kyle Rittenhouse will be walking out the front door with his fake tears. I don't know that we should compare Kyle with Kyle Rittenhouse. It might be a bit far. Because, I mean, yeah. But I agree, like, Kyle needs to go. He didn't murder
anyone.
Yeah, Kyle needs to go. And I feel like he will be leaving on Thursday. And thank you, William, again, for your super chat. Sean Davis, thank you so much. Sean says, Kyle needs to realize that karma is real and it'll come back in the worst way. He's been getting away with this shit for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He is old enough to realize what he is saying. The after party has the 4 most disloyal people in the house. Do your best Alyssa impression. My best Alyssa impression would just be
a little more. Yeah, thank you.
Honestly, like, a lot of times she's just sitting there not saying anything. Okay. Peekaboo Gia, right?
Right.
Okay, Peekaboo Gia, thank you so much for the super chat. And they said they better let the audience boo Kyle on Thursday. Oh my God. I feel like it's been so long since we've had a booing, right? But I think it'd be warranted here. I heard that, like, they're really strict about the booing now, and that's, like, why it hasn't happened in a long time. I even heard, like, they have, like, CBS employees in the audience. I don't know if that's true. Sean Davis, you went to a taping, right? Is that the case? Do you work for CBS?
I don't think so.
Christina, thank you so much for the super chat. Norm the Cat, thank you so much for your super chat. Wayne Sugihara, thank you so much. And Wayne says, hit the like button. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Don MH302, thank you so much. Samuel Johnson, thank you so much. And Samuel says, I think they showed Kyle and Alyssa in the hot tub messing up their geography to make Kyle look more stupid than racist. Yeah, it was interesting that they showed that clip last night. I don't know if it was just like a comic relief moment or if it was a PR moment or what. But honestly, it just made me roll my eyes. Child of God, thank you so much. And Child of God says, thanks to you and your beautiful mom. Aw.
Thank you.
Michael and Brittany, not my favorites. Brittany can't fool me with that pouty, concerned face. Uh-oh. Monty and Taylor, faves. I mean, I mentioned it before. Obviously, Michael and Brittany were using this information to their advantage for game, for
Absolutely.
sure. But I am glad that it was finally brought to light because I think it is really important and not something that should be swept under the rug. But, you know, they could have done better with that, but at least it's out there now.
And there's one more.
Oh, my fiance. Thanks, Sean. He says, damn, girl, you're still going? I know, right? My throat hurts so bad.
Oh.
My fiance is waiting for me right now. Okay, thank you, babe. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. Seriously, if you made it all the way through this, thank you. If you were watching this at a later time, not live, thank you. We will be back tomorrow for more.
That was epic. I gotta.
Oh, thanks.
Very
Seriously,
good.
though, could not do justice how crazy the feeds were yesterday. But yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. So hope you have a great Monday night. and get some rest. Secure the perimeter.
Secure the perimeter.
And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.